China has been actively fighting desertification for many years. According to official data, between 2016 and 2020, approximately 21.8 million acres of desert land were converted into green areas, roughly the size of Uruguay, and the efforts continue. In 2022, another 9.4 million acres of forest were planted, and over 9.9 million acres the following year. However, not everything is as simple as it may seem. Many experts warn that the greening programs are not as effective as the authorities claim. If the current trend of desert expansion were to be halted solely by tree planting, China would have to continue for more than 100 years. But China wouldn't be China if it didn't find a brilliant solution. The problem lies partly in the very nature of deserts. According to scientists from Beijing Forestry University, up to 85% of plants planted in sand die over time. Sand has the ability to move, and without stabilizing elements such as roots, it's impossible to prevent erosion and the shifting of dunes. A typical example is the Taklamakan Desert, where as much as 80% of the area is made up of moving dunes. According to UNESCO, these dunes can shift by up to 66 feet per year, mainly due to strong winds that face no natural barriers in the desert environment. Young seedlings often either dry out or get completely buried by wind and sand. Another problem is the lack of nutrients and moisture. Sand dunes and arid plains do not provide the conditions that plants need to grow. Tree plantings that take place annually on March 12th, during Tree Planting Day, often fail for this reason. Nevertheless, it remains a culturally significant day when millions of citizens actively participate in planting. Citizens aged 11 to 60 are even required to plant 3 to 5 trees per year, or contribute an equivalent amount of labor. Some couples even choose to marry the day before the celebration so they can commemorate their wedding by planting a tree. It turns out that planting in shifting sands requires specialized expertise. Chinese scientists introduced a revolutionary idea utilizing ordinary straw. China is a rice powerhouse. In 2024, it produced over 231 million short tons of rice, generating hundreds of millions of short tons of straw as a byproduct. Annually, the country produces up to 1.1 billion short tons of straw, with a portion directed toward desert control. Straw is employed to create straw checkerboards, square barriers embedded in the sand. These structures, resembling a chessboard, are deployed across thousands of acres. Their installation is labor-intensive, requiring transportation of materials to remote areas, manual digging, and placement. However, China leverages extensive human resources, from local volunteers to mobilized army units. The result is natural barriers that retain moisture, trap fine dust, and serve as slow decomposing fertilizer. Grass carpets emerge where straw once lay, stabilizing the surface and significantly enhancing the survival rate of other plants. Chinese researchers report that these measures can reduce sand movement by up to 99.5%. The next step involves planting trees and shrubs directly into these stabilized fields. The Chinese further innovated by developing straw fishing nets, special straw ropes woven into expansive nets laid over dunes. This method substantially saves time and effort, reducing manual labor by an estimated 50% compared to traditional checkerboard construction. How effective is this approach? History provides a clear answer. In 1958, the Baotou-Lanzhou railway line was inaugurated, traversing 87 miles of the Tengger Desert. Sand movement was so severe that tracks were regularly buried. In Zhongwei, devastating sandstorms threatened both residents and infrastructure. The Chinese Ministry of Railways established the Shapatou experimental base. After years of testing, straw checkerboards and nets proved the most effective solution. By the 1980s, a comprehensive defense system was developed, 5 belts of vegetation and protective zones, ranging from fire breaks and irrigated forests to straw-stabilized plant fields. This green shield has protected the railway for over 60 years, In 2008, the project received the UN's Global 500 Award for outstanding environmental contributions. Today, traveling by train through this area feels like journeying through an oasis, where once there was only desolation. This approach offers additional benefits. Straw checkerboards not only prevent erosion and sand spread, but also create microclimates conducive to plant growth. Areas once plagued by extreme aridity and surface temperatures reaching 140 degrees Fahrenheit now support grasses, shrubs, and trees. Consequently, formerly inhospitable regions become vibrant habitats, attracting insects, birds, and small mammals returning to these new ecosystems. The desert transforms into a space where new life can flourish. Similar projects are expanding into regions like Inner Mongolia, Gansu Province, and Xinjiang. In the Alxa area alone, tens of thousands of acres have been stabilized over the past decade. According to Chinese plans, this is just the beginning. By 2030, the country aims to convert an additional 24.7 million acres into green spaces. Perhaps most impressive is the symbolism of this effort. When one spots a straw checkerboard in the midst of a desert, it's evident that human hands have passed through, choosing to collaborate with nature rather than merely conquer it. Though it may initially appear as a primitive solution, its strength lies in its simplicity. No expensive technology, no complex chemical processes, just straw, sand, and an immense amount of human labor. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to let me know in the comments, and maybe leave a like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, but it really means a lot to me. See you in the next video.